Getting the top 20 third baseman started, we have Miguel Vargas. In his first full season as a starter with the White Sox after coming over from the Dodgers, he had a solid year. He's not going to hit for a great average, but will walk a good amount and doesn't swing and miss a lot and was league average offensively last year with an 100 OPS plus, and defensively there's a lot of room for improvement. Yankees third baseman Ryan McMahon is going to hit for a low average, but he still gets on base around league average because he walks a lot, but he also has one of the highest whiff and strikeout rates in baseball. But he does hit the ball pretty hard and hit 20 home runs the past 5 seasons, even though it definitely helped playing at Coors. He's also really good defensively. For the first time in his career, Royce Lewis played 100 plus games, with the early part of his career being injury riddled and still missing significant time last year due to injury. He had a really good rookie year and looked very promising and had a solid 2024, but had a rough year this season with only a 671 OPS with an on-base well below 300, and next year will be a big year for him. Caleb Durbin is a guy that's not going to strike out or whiff at all, but is in less than the 5th percentile in average exit velocity and hard hit rate, and just has a slightly above batting average even though he gets on base at a pretty good rate. And he actually had double-digit home runs last year, which is impressive for someone who has no power. And he also stole 18 bases and played league average defense. Yohan Moncada had a good offensive season last year, posting a 336 on base percentage, walking a good amount to make up for a low batting average, and had a 448 slugging percentage, hitting 12 home runs, which was only through 84 games. But the downside is he's pretty much unplayable in the field with his defense, having negative 13 outs above average. Kazuma Okamoto is coming over from the Japanese League to play in Toronto after being one of the best players in the MPB, putting up exceptional numbers and projecting as around a 20 homer guy that'll have an OPS in the mid, maybe even high 700s. Colt Keith had a good second year, boosting his on-base and slugging, along with going from a sub 700 OPS to a mid 700 OPS, being a solid starter for Detroit, but does need to improve defensively. Brett Beatty finally started to put it all together last year for the Mets, and looks to be defeating the bust label, posting a 748 OPS with around the league average batting average and on-base percentage, and hitting 18 home runs and playing solid defense. Alec Boehm hit 287 with a 331 on-base percentage, due to his low whiff and strikeout rate, even though he doesn't walk much, and has around the league average power, but only hit 11 home runs last year, which is down from the past 3, and he doesn't play great defense. Carlos Correa reunited with the Astros at the trade deadline, playing a lot better with them than in Minnesota. He had a 905 OPS in 2024, but just had a 734 OPS last year. But he's still hitting for a good average and getting on base a good amount and playing okay defense. Jordan Westburg has been pretty good for the Orioles the past 3 seasons, hitting in the 260s with an on-base percentage in the 310s every season. He looks to be a nearly 20 home run guy and had a 770 OPS last season playing good defense. Eugenio Suarez had a great 2025 and hit 49 home runs with an 824 OPS, but didn't even get on base at a 300 rate, and had an expected batting average in the 4th percentile, with a whip percentage in the 4th percentile also, and a strikeout rate in the 5th percentile, which is probably why most teams are still hesitant to sign him, with him still being a free agent, and he also plays bad defense. Austin Riley's stats have been down the past 2 seasons with a sub 800 OPS and sub 330 on base percentage in each of the last 2 seasons, and his expected on base percentage and batting average dropped significantly this season, but has a very high hard hit rate, bat speed, average exit velocity, and barrel rate, but he also isn't a great defender, and I think he'll bounce back. At number 7 is Matt Chapman, who's going to hit a little below league average but walks a lot, so he still has a high on base percentage, and is going to hit for an OPS in the mid to high 700s, hitting 20 plus homers while also playing very good defense. Maikel Garcia had a massive breakout year for Kansas City and has formed one of the best duos on the left side of the infield in the league with Bobby Witt Jr., and both of them are only 25, with nothing getting by that left side with a combined 41 outs above average between the two. Garcia's in the 90th plus percentile in whiff, chase, and strikeout rate. It had an on base percentage in the mid 300s, hitting for a high average and walking a little above league average while having a little bit of power, hitting 16 homers last year. Manny Machado is still going strong into year 15, being around an 800 OPS hitter that's going to hit for a good average, get on base a good amount, and hit for a high slugging, and still at around 25-30 homers. The only concern is his defense drastically dropped off the past two seasons, going from a really good defender's whole career to average in 2024 to nearly a liability at the position last year. Newest Chicago Cubs third baseman Alex Bregman is going to get on base a good amount, being a guy that doesn't whiff, chase, or strike out much, and will walk a good amount while staying around 800 OPS and still being an around 20 home run a year guy, and he's also going to play really good defense at third. Max Muncy is still an elite player at age 35 for the Dodgers, posting an 800 plus OPS the last three seasons, and hit 19 homers through 100 games, walking in the 99th percentile, resulting in a 376 on base percentage, despite having a below league average batting average, and he also slugs in the high 400s, but was pretty poor defensively last year. 22-year-old former number 4 prospect Junior Caminero looked incredible in his first full season in the MLB after seeing 50 games during 2023 and 2024. He crushes the ball, hitting 45 homers, and was ninth in slugging, along with having a 100th percentile bat speed with his average exit velocity and hard hit rate being in the top 90th percentile, and his strikeout rate still being above average even though he doesn't walk a lot, so the on-base percentage isn't amazing. He doesn't really provide much defensively or on the base pass, having negative 3 outs above average and 30th percentile speed, but still isn't a complete liability either. Through the last 9 seasons, Jose Ramirez has had 6 top 5 MVP finishes and 4 top 3 finishes. He has been very consistent, having an 800 plus OPS for the last decade, and he's going to hit for a high average while also getting on base at a high rate, and isn't going to strike out or whiff much. His bat speed, average exit velocity, hard hit rate, and barrel rate are all below average, but he still hits 30 homers last year and at a career high in stolen bases, stealing 44 and playing really good defense. Thanks for watching.